According to a new poll, many Americans seem stunned by the president's lack of action overseas, as American troops are targeted now almost daily. Now, recently, the U.S. Navy, they did sink 3 little baby Houthi rebel speedboats in the Red Sea after coming under attack. But so far, the commander-in-chief has done little to counter this aggression. Now Iran, they're sending a warship to the region. And meanwhile, just a few weeks after their meeting in California, well, China's dictator once again threatened what he calls reunification of Taiwan. We would call that an invasion. The Biden White House doesn't seem to care. We have war in Europe. That continues with no end in sight. Now war in the Middle East. And all my sources tell me Joe Biden is saying one thing publicly about Israel and very different things privately. Here with analysis, Fox News contributor, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. You know, Mr. Secretary, I look at the world situation. I don't care if it's Europe, Ukraine, Russia. I look at this new axis of evil, China, Russia, Iran, as probably the biggest threat since the Cold War, and I think they're more emboldened than ever just based on their actions. What do you see?
Sean, first of all, Happy New Year. I think your analysis is exactly right. What we saw happen on October 7th, what we saw happen in Afghanistan, where 13 Americans killed, the Chinese spy balloon, these things are all connected by dictators, authoritarian regimes that do not fear the United States of America, that President Biden has allowed such an accelerated rate of decay of our deterrence that we had built up in the 4 years that President Trump and I were serving has really done the American people a disservice, and it is dangerous. It's dangerous not only for the Israelis and for folks in the Middle East, but it's dangerous for folks here in the United States of America as well. A wide open southern border and a North Korean leader, a Chinese leader, a Russian leader who don't think that the United States will stand up and defend its most sacred values is a place that is a very dangerous country here at home as well.
So when President Xi just recently spoke in the last week or so about reunification with Taiwan, that to me, he said it before, but this time it feels more real. Feels more real to me because if in fact that is his geopolitical ambition, or it's going to happen while Biden's president. That means they have in their mind about a year to get it done. I predict that's probably going to happen. I hope I'm wrong, but I think I'm going to be proven right.
Sean, I hope you're wrong, too. And it's not an independent variable. We have the capacity to deter Xi Jinping, to demonstrate our resolve, to show that just as we'll provide all the ammunition, weapons, missiles that the Israelis need to defend their homeland, just as we should be providing what the Ukrainians have asked for to defend their homeland from the invasion by Vladimir Putin, we need to make clear that we're not going to allow Xi Jinping to steal our property here at home. We're not going to allow him to run spy rings and spy balloons against the United States on our own soil. And we're not going to let him take over an independent and free Taiwan by force in the Pacific. It'll be a very, very dangerous thing for all of us, whether that's the Hawaiian Islands, Alaska, Guam, all of these places. When you pick up the map and see what he's doing in Taiwan, make no mistake about it, Xi Jinping's intentions aren't limited to what he calls the reunification you properly described as the takeover of Taiwan.
What do you make of the advancement of the Iranian nuclear program, and they're sending a warship to basically seemingly help out the Houthi rebels, and they've been using those rebels to fight a proxy war against Saudi Arabia. And the Houthi rebels are firing missiles into Israel also. So that's another front in the Israeli conflict. Is that not a bold move by the Iranians to send that warship there?
Sean, remember the history of this administration and the Obama administration with Iran. They have emboldened the Iranian regime. They've provided them $6 billion in exchange for 6 American hostages. There are now more Americans held by the Iranians after that than there were before we released that $6 billion. No, this is all Iranian-driven. The Israelis have at least a 3-front, maybe as many as a 5-front war underway today. It's not something that's in the future or might happen if there's an escalation. If we don't impose real costs on the Iranian regime, we're coming up on the 4th anniversary of when we took out Soleimani. It's on January 3rd. If we don't impose real costs on the Iranian regime, if we just keep taking out dinghies and firing at empty warehouses in Syria, the Iranians will feel emboldened, empowered, and they will not only continue to attack Israel, but they'll attack Middle Eastern countries, and I fear that they will do things here in the homeland as well.
Do you ever think you'd see this much anti-Semitism in the halls of Congress, on college universities? just in the past week at the site of the World Trade Center where 9/11/01, we lost, that day we lost 2,977 Americans, and they were actually shouting Allahu Akbar. Australia, you had protesters shouting "Gas the Jews." You see anti-Semitism rampant all across Europe. It's beyond disturbing to me. How do you analyze it?
Yeah, I never thought I'd see this volume and this depth of activity. And then I never thought I'd see our central institutions, whether that's the United Nations or our universities, so fail to understand this is black and white, this is good versus evil. To allow this anti-Semitism to run rampant and then not to do anything about it is morally indecent. And I never thought I'd see that, Sean. I regret it. I hope that America can find its way back. I'm confident that we will, but it's going to take real American leadership, not just from presidents of the United States, but from each of us all across the country, making clear this is just unacceptable.
Yeah, we do need people like you. We do need adults like you back in charge. I hope you're not busy in about a year or so. I think there's a big job waiting for you somewhere. Secretary Pompeo, Happy New Year, sir. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.